The soil impact on the expression of the wines. Have you got a particular interest in wine? Once you face the label, you may not ask yourself what influences the quality of the final product. Each wine is unique and has a particular identity that is conferred by a multitude of factors like climate, exposure, plant material, topography, and the work of the winemaker. And of course, the soil. That is certainly one of the key factors at the source of the pleasure you take in sipping your glass. In France, the vine is planted on soils of very different nature. Many types of vineyard soils are favorable to the vine culture, like clay limestone soils, schistous soils, granitic soils. A crop support is generally studied by its geology, so the subsoil rock mother, the pedology, the organic and mineral constituents, and the topography, the relief. We appreciate the quality of a soil through three essential approaches. The texture is the proportion of constitutive elements more or less fine of the ground, like pebbles, sand, silts, and clays. The structure depends on the composition, the proportion, and the assembly of these elements. It can evolve from lumpy to compact. And finally, the porosity allows the circulation of the water and regulates its hygrometry. The porosity depends on the texture and structure of the soil. The formation of a soil results from the mineral degradation of the bedrock at depth and the organic matter at the surface. The developed materials settle in parallel to each other to give homogeneous layers called horizons. Each horizon is characterized by its color, texture, structure, and porosity, and constitutes the pantry of our vine. Let's not forget the roots. The link between the plant, the vine, and the soil is through the roots, through the role of anchoring, which allows the strain to remain in place facing climatic hazards like rain and wind, and mechanical work. The role of prospecting and water and mineral feeding, like the roots will seek in the soil the water it needs for the assimilation of the mineral elements. And the roots have a role of storage, because the roots store the minerals in autumn and winter. These elements will participate in its feeding at the beginning of its growth, then in case of leaf fall, like diseases, water stress, and leaf dieback. Let's remember that the soils all behave in different ways because they do not have the same ability to retain and release water and mineral elements that are present but not always available to the plants. On these different types of soil, the grape varieties will then express themselves differently and directly influence the aromatic and coloring potential of the grapes. Then the wines are produced alone, one grape variety, or blended, several mixed grapes from several plots or different soils. The soil has an influence on the visual aspect, intensity of color, and the sensory character of the wines, aromas, power, finesse, but not always on the subjective quality of the wines. Depending on the type of soil, sandy, gravelly, clay limestone, schist, the same grape variety will give different taste at the wine. Let's focus on the three cuvées of Château Mangin and link them with their original soil. The Grèce sector is a very sandy soil and has the advantage of being drainy and filtry. It is adapted to the Grenache and Syrah culture. It also has disadvantages such as water stress, lack of water sometimes, and are very sensitive to erosion. This type of soil makes it possible to obtain wines offering finesse. These are our white and rosé wines. These wines have a nose characterized by citrus notes and fresh fruits. These are light, fruity, and voluptuous. The Perrières sector is from a limestone subsoil. This mostly sandy plot, covered with a bed of rolled pebbles, promotes small yields and beautiful ripeness, allowing the development of wines combining heat, finesse, and elegance. these are Côte-du-Rhône and Côte-du-Rhône Village Les Perrières. It's a robust red color with purple reflections and a pleasant nose with notes of black fruits and roasting. Well-coated tannins bringing a good balance in the mouth are the main qualities of these wines. The Châteauneuf-du-Pape sector has a soil with quartzite pebbles, so raw pebbles. These large pebbles that cover the ground have an essential functionality to the vineyards of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, as they store the heat of the sun during the day to restore it at night to the vines, which allows us to obtain a perfect maturity. The sandy subsoil allows the roots to develop in depth, to feed regularly and easily in water and mineral elements. Our Châteauneuf-du-Pape presents an intense and powerful nose on notes of red and black fruits, spices like nutmeg and cloves, on fine tannins. The mouth is generous with silky tannins and good complexity. We have got some stone fruit and vanilla aromas.
Alors oui, on peut retrouver l'expression d'un sol dans une bouteille, mais ce n'est pas une relation très directe, c'est une relation assez complexe qui passe par beaucoup d'autres facteurs, et entre le sol et le vin, il y en a beaucoup d'effaces, le choix des porte-greffes, le choix des pratiques, etc., jusqu'au vin. Ce qui va changer, c'est justement le fonctionnement de ces sols qui va avoir une incidence sur la composition du raisin et donc le produit qui va se faire à partir de cela. Et je peux l'illustrer avec l'exemple Château-Mongeat. On a grosso modo 3 sites. Dans un site, on est plus dans une zone de plaine, sur une géologie des sables, des sols très filtrants, et où on peut avoir des mous, donc des vignes qui vont se développer plus rapidement, et donc des mous qui vont être plus vers le fruité et qui vont être un peu plus légers à niveau des couleurs, un peu plus expressifs. On a un deuxième site à Châteauneuf-du-Pape où on est dans les terrasses des Châteauneuf-du-Pape avec les galets roulés, les argiles et orientés, donc une orientation donc au plus ou moins ensoleillée. Et donc là, les racines, ils vont pouvoir avoir pas trop de stress hydrique et une maturation beaucoup plus lente, donc on peut avoir des vins un peu plus structurés, un peu plus colorés. Et enfin, aux Perrières, on a des sols qui sont beaucoup plus limitants, avec risque de sécheresse. Donc en adaptant un bon porte-greffe et un bon cépage, on peut avoir des vins qui vont être plus charnus, plus colorés, plus expressifs et plus structurés. Donc voilà l'exemple illustré avec ces 3 cas.